50 ways to live your time. Number 7. The concept of forward and backward by Kosen Handa. In this video, I would like to talk a little about the concept of the forward and the backward directions in your physical body to help you understand the basic terms of noology, the outside of a human being and the inside of a human being. These concepts unique to noology, the outside and the inside of a human being, correspond to the space forward and backward from our body, respectively. Our consciousness usually thinks about space from a position sank in three-dimensional space, so we are unaware of the difference between forward and backward orientations. From my viewpoint, the higher dimensional structure shaped by the unconscious, which noology has been calling dimensional observing particles or dimensional paratirons, will, after all, be overlaid with the three orientations in our body: front, back, left, right, and up, down. Suppose you can see all the structures and workings of consciousness created by intertwining these three body space orientations in yourself and others. If so, it will mean that you come to the manifestation of all the dimensional observing particles or dimensional paratrons, Psi 1 to Psi 12 in noology. So, for now, let us return to the discussion of the backward direction introduced in the previous video to expose the tremendous difference in significance between forward and backward directions. We cannot see our back. There are two directions that we call backward. In my case, one is behind my body, and the other is behind an object seen in front of me. They are unable to see. These two kinds of backward directions have one thing in common. Suppose that there is another person, i.e., the other on the other side of me and the object. Then, those two backward directions will be contained within the other's forward direction when the person is facing me. If we want to see our behind that is invisible to us, the tool we use is a mirror. In this sense, a mirror is a substitute for the forward direction of the other. Therefore, a mirror can make one's own backward direction appear in their forward direction. It means that a mirror that reflects the viewer's self in front of them should be called a rear view mirror in nature. A mirror is for looking backward. In other words, you see the world behind you in the mirror. If so, the following conjecture may hold true. I always thought my face was facing forward. However, since the world reflected in the mirror is my backside of the world, I should think of my face as being behind rather than attached to my front side. It may sound a bit strange, but this means that whether I look forward or backward, there are two different directions of gaze for each. Usually, we refer to the direction in front of us as forward. Still, we also feel that the location of our face is also front. This is because the area on the opposite side of our face is called the occiput, or the back of the head, and it's literally considered to be behind us. But this is a little strange, because front is supposed to refer to the direction where the visible world exists. However, according to the argument I have been making, my face should belong to the side of the invisible world. One's consciousness that perceives one's own face to be in the forward direction is completely opposite in its orientation to the consciousness that typically perceives one's forward direction as in the forward direction. Nevertheless, human beings are indifferent to the differences in their orientations and confuse them altogether. To be precise, what we call the back of our head should actually be called the forward, while our face should be considered as the object which exists in the direction of the world behind us. My face, which is always accompanied by a background that I cannot see, is not real because I can never see its actual appearance. The only way to capture it is through my imagination from the mirror image. For me, my face is only a mask. Yes, it is a persona. As a face, this persona is the foundation on which we nurture our individuality as a human being. In other words, it is our face that our personality is being built up. When I say personality here, it refers to the ego as the supervisor of all meanings that emerge in the world of phenomena, i.e., the world as we perceive it. Therefore, I am wearing the mask of Kosen Handa, and all the narratives I tell here must be conveyed with emotions and values springing up from the mask. At the same time, you, listening to my narrative, also wear a mask as an ego being. Then, I, Kosen Handa, wonder what my true face is. What is the true face of oneself that is not a mask? It will be called omote in an old-fashioned Japanese way. When you watch Japanese period dramas, you often see characters saying, "Raise your omote." That's it. When someone spoke, "Raise your omote," people in the olden days would naturally raise their faces. The word omote is written in Chinese characters as this. This Chinese character can also be read as men. This word means not only a face but also a plane, a surface, or a mask. But a face is not one's front because it is a mask. Interestingly, there is a record of such words exchanged with Okotsuto in serious files. What is the word that humans see? It is men. In serious, the word men refers to the visible world. That is, one's entire vision. What does it mean? Does that imply the forward direction by any chance? Does it suggest that the visible world itself is my face? Yes, the word Okotsuto said, men, corresponds to the very thing I call the immovable viewing space.